because the markets have been a little sluggish in the last few months. Some blame it on the elections, others blame it on the general sense of sort of slowing down negative sentiments in the market. Credit squeeze is one important factor which is putting a sort of a restriction on the expansion. And of course, the increasing percentage of imports. I have given some of the details in the press release, but I think this is one of the major impediments and major sort of danger to the domestic industry, and particularly the duty-free imports of garments from Bangladesh. We have brought it to the notice of the government. In fact, just last week we had a meeting with the Minister of Textiles, Ministry of Commerce, as well as the Foreign Minister, and he did bring to their notice very forcefully the dangers of unfettered imports coming in from Bangladesh. The actual figures today may not seem extremely worrying. They're in the region of about 365 million US dollars. But the important thing is that it is growing at the rate of 52% CAGR. So it's a worrying factor if this continues. And in the last 2 years, imports from Bangladesh have gone up by 142%. And if this trend continues, the imports from Bangladesh is likely to touch 3.6, and that can also, in terms of the government's priority about creating employment, the imports from lakh jobs, if it reaches $3.6 billion by 2025. So that's a very worrying factor, which we have brought it to the notice of the government. And I'm happy to say that all the three ministers reacted very positively and responded very positively, and we are hoping that some steps will be taken by the government to protect. Not that we would want to oppose any imports, but I think what we are trying to do is to request for a level playing field, because what is happening today is that Bangladesh manufacturers are able to import fabrics from China duty-free because of their duty arrangements, and then export duty-free garments to India. So it's actually a backdoor entry for free imports of Chinese fabrics coming into the country, which is impacting not just the garment manufacturers. I do strongly believe that there are several areas in India, several zones, several districts, several states, which can be compared to Bangladesh or Myanmar or any developing country in terms of the poverty levels, the unemployment levels, etc. India is not just Mumbai and not just Delhi, not just Bangalore. It also is the interior, where sometimes these kind of unrestricted imports can make a huge difference, and especially because again, the garment industry supports not only the premier objective of the government, which is to generate employment, but also it supports employment of women, which is another important objective of the government.